Oh, amazing. Welcome to all of you new viewers. Some of you might know that you're standing in one of the largest hot shops on the West Coast, but if you don't, congratulations, here you are. Since the museum opened in 2002, we've been hosting a visiting artist residency program. We host between 20 to 35 artists a year, and they get a week of 5 days here with our amazing hot shop team. And during the residency, they get to experiment, try new ideas, and they also get to go home with all of the work they make during the week, except two pieces. One goes to our collection and one to benefit the museum in fundraising. So one of my favorite parts of working here is this part where you guys not only get to watch Beccy work and watch her experiment and try new ideas, but you get to hear from her directly. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce this week's visiting artist, Beccy Feather. She lives and works up the peninsula in Bremerton. She has her MFA from Rochester Institute of Technology. And one of the things we admire most about Beccy is that not only is she an artist in her own right, but she's an educator and shares a lot of what she knows with our artist community here in the Northwest. She is a self-described production flame worker, artist, educator, and tea drinker. And her work is a mixture of fine craft, humor, and home science. We're honored to have Beccy here. She, again, from a previous residency, submitted a piece to benefit the museum at our auction Red Hot last year in 2023, and she was awarded the People's Choice Award for her submission, which is how she came here. This residency is part of her prize, and we've had such a great time watching her experiment and have fun in the hot shop this week. But you're not here to listen to me talk. You're here to meet Beccy. So without further ado, let me introduce Beccy Feather.
Hi. Hi. So thank you so much to the museum for having me. It's such an honor to be here and such an honor to work and have work made by the team. I love coming here. Guys are all super kind to use their time to make my stuff. And thanks for all you guys for being here to listen to me chit-chat a bunch of nonsense about my work. But so, one second. Cool. So I'm originally from England, but I learned I accidentally learned glass making in undergraduate in Wolverhampton, England. And then I came over here to go to Pilchuck Glass School, which is up north. And it was clear to me that America had a lot going on in terms of glass making. And so I came to grad school in America and in upstate New York at RIT, and then never wanted to leave. And then so, yeah, that's why I like this picture, spring onions. So I do, the process that I make glass with is called flame working, and it's a little bit different to the hot shop and this kind of hot glass stuff. So it's a picture of me and my friend Kit, and we're flame working, and we're using, you can see like we're using these special torches that are powered with oxygen and propane, and they burn super hot, and you melt a specific glass called borosilicate glass in them, which is the same glass as Pyrex, like the stuff that you put in your oven. So it's like very resistant to thermal shock. And you can shove it in the flame, and you can hold the glass in your hand while one part is molten. And it lends itself to, it kind of was like originally developed for scientific purposes, like scientific apparatus. And it lends itself to making like highly detailed, smaller pieces. So yeah, this is a coil condenser, so it's kind of like very complex and has like a bunch of stuff going on, which would be a little bit trickier to do in the hot shop, but not so difficult in the flame shop. And so I had never seen flame working properly until I came to America, and this is some of the first stuff that I made. You can see like the example of the chain. So like borosilicate glass is really strong too, so you can make like very fine, delicate things with it. Ultra shiny. And then so it was very clear to me that the people who had skill in flame working were involved in particular pipe making movements. And so this is a piece that I made for smoking weed out of. So I called these things mouth breathers. And I used to make these. I moved to Texas to work with some flame workers down there who were pipe makers down there. And I spent the next sort of couple years working with them and getting used to like working different colors and different forms and all the different techniques. So here's another one. He's got mushrooms inside his mouth. This one's based on Reptar. This one's red. This one's green. And then so a couple years ago, I was lucky enough to have a residency here. And we made, the team made these really cool animal-based vases for me. And they were based on some sort of like 70s era mold-blown glassware. And so this is how we did them. So I CNC'd some wooden mold, a wooden blow mold. And this is the blow mold. You can see it burned a little bit. The glass gets blown inside it. There's a image of the bubble going inside the mold. There's Gabe. And then so, the pieces sort of ended up looking like that. So that's an owl and a frog. They made a lot more, but I wasn't able to get photos of them yet. And then so I'm part of a band called American Cheese, a glass-making band. And so we were lucky enough to get selected to go to the GAS conference, the Glass Art Society conference that was in Berlin last year, and we did a demonstration. So Kit and I in the middle, we're flame workers, and Brent and Sarah, who's also works in the hot shop here, mostly do sort of hot shop glass making. So we combine the two processes, kind of. So this is us having a meeting. And then so we made if you can see there's a piece of cheese with a nose and a mustache on it, because the idea was like American cheese, like taking a photo of yourself, like a selfie. So I don't know if you guys ever seen those party booths where you put mustaches and eyeglasses on and like you're silly. So the idea was like everyone to be silly and talk about American cheese. So this is a lot of the Instagram stuff that happened. The American cheese demo steez is unmatched. So you know, silly stuff. And then there's a picture of all of us. It was lots of fun and really cool to go to Berlin and make glass. And these are the Haas brothers. They're artists who, I think they're based in LA. They have I think most of the stuff, they have a lot of galleries in Texas though too, but they're originally from Texas, but they're LA-based artists, and they're known for making these really funny, quirky furniture and sort of like art design crossover type pieces. So I make stuff for them sometimes. And so they'll send me a drawing like this, Billy Twisty. And then it ended up like something like that. So they cast, like, they make waxes and then cast bronze sort of like holders for the pieces. And they're sort of like sculptural, sometimes functional things. Pete Frown's End. That's what that guy ended up looking like. Lick Cage. Yep, this gets a little racy. Even more racy. Yeah, that's weird. Colin Doyle. Talented Mr. Wiggly. Yep. Judy Clench. I like Judy Clench a lot. Anyway, so a bunch of stuff. So this is kind of what I'm known for, is making these candle holders. And I sort of make them all different styles and colors and really enjoy messing around, putting the shapes together and playing with different forms and how they get put together. There's a couple more. So this is the first one that I ever made. And I made it because me and my friend, this is probably around 15 years ago, was when I made this, and me and my friend was sort of getting into like drinking red wine and sitting outside and talking nonsense, and he had this really dark patio, and so I was like, oh, you need some candles out here. So I started making these candle holders for him and me, and so that's sort of like the origin. But I really enjoy being outside and at night hanging out with friends with candlelight. It's something that I really enjoy. And so I wanted to continue that with the work that I made here. So, part I was thinking like what I like about being outside at night with candles, and it's kind of like the light is beautiful, people's faces light up, but it's also a little bit like, oh, it's like a little bit dangerous, like outside the light, like you don't quite know what like is out there in the dark. And I was thinking about that, and my mind goes to like sort of the very first people that were adventuring, and they were seeing things like whales and weird stuff in the sea, and they were coming back and telling stories to people about like what they saw, and it just sounds completely ridiculous. Like, there's this giant thing, and it had big teeth, and it was coming to get me. It shot water out of its head, and then also it's kind of like a little bit interesting because some of these things reference a lot of like heraldry, and so this guy reminds me of these Venetian goblets that they used to make, or people still make them, but that little character in the middle is a dolphin, but it doesn't look anything like a dolphin, but it kind of looks like something that you might see for a second and then try and like figure out what it was and describe it to someone who was maybe okay at drawing. And so there's some stuff like that. There's a horse. I think it's eating a dragon. Maybe. It could be a dragon. The horse has got wings. These are dragons. So you can kind of see like a little bit of the similarity between this and the drawings that exist out there. So yeah, you've been to sea, and you've been to like, you've been adventuring or just working on a ship, and you come back and you describe all these things. And then you kind of start to enjoy telling the stories to people because they're just sort of like so excited about stuff. And you're like, yeah, we saw this thing, and it was like 80 foot long and shot water out of its head. And then your mates are all like super impressed. Or maybe they think you're lying, I don't know. But then you start to get the hang of telling these stories. You're like, yeah, I saw this man, he had a duck for a head, and then puppies for knees. And just the lies just start to get ridiculous. And anyway, so I was imagining that my pieces were stories that you tell your friends of stuff that you've seen in the periphery of that candlelight, just coming out of the dark. So like strange snakes with duck heads that you catch and put candles in their mouths, perhaps. So that's kind of like why we're making what we're making. And I think that's the last slide. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions? That's okay. Yeah.
I wanted to ask where all the work will be next. What'll happen to it after you finish in the hot shop?
Yeah, I'm going to take it back to my studio, and I'm going to spend a bunch of time making the heads for them. And yeah, and then I also sort of want to make some backgrounds for them so that they're all wall hanging pieces. So I got to figure that out, but yeah, I'm going to have a good time doing it. Yeah, so the question was pipes my first, wait, what was the question? My pipes were the entryway into glassmaking. No, but it was kind of my entryway into being really good at flame working. Because the scientific glassmakers, they really only use clear glass, and it's a very specific sort of like skill set. And then with pipe making, there's just so much creativity there that stuff. There's just it's not that there's more skill, it's just that there's different use with those skills. And so using color can be really difficult. There's like a whole ridiculous bunch of stuff you have to know for doing that, and it's really, really time consuming. And it was just clear to me that pipe makers were doing exciting things creatively, and that's why I wanted to make those things. I kind of left that world a little bit just because I wanted to not make pipes anymore. Everything becomes like a pipe, and I wanted to make other stuff. So, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Cool. Oh. You said talk about working with the team. Yeah. Yeah, it's really awesome to have a bunch of people make work for you. It's like really, really, I don't know, it's rewarding, like to see your ideas come to light in sort of like a different medium. It's, yeah, what else about it? Like, I have like a bit of knowledge about like how things work in this arena, but the skill that the team has is something that is super unique and isn't really many places in the world. So it's very, yeah, I don't know, it's an honor to be here. Yeah. Oh, hi. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, for flame working, it's really just all, yeah, you don't really work in teams. You just, I mean, maybe you might have someone making, well, actually, I started off just making like prep for other people. So I would make like a ball of glass covered in color, and then I'd give it to the person who would make something out of it. And that was like how I just made money in the beginning, because I wasn't particularly skilled. But when my practice is just me in my studio working on a piece, and flame working is a little different because you can put the piece down in a kiln and like walk away for a bit and like get tea, and then yeah, and then you can come back and work on it. Like, so here everything is like they can't, yeah, you have to finish the piece. So yeah, it's very different, but it's like my process is a lot of just standing with your arms like this, like working in the flame. There's like not as much movement and not as much coordination like that. So it's definitely like a very different process. And it's also cold in my studio. Yeah. Uh-huh. So from England, I went to Pilchuck Glass School, and there was a bunch of people there from RIT, and I was like, oh, guess I want. Yeah, yeah. There's like 50 or something institutions in America that have glassmaking. There's a lot. Yeah, I got lucky. Oh, cool. Oh, no way. Yeah, awesome. A lot of people here went to RIT, so yeah. Yeah. Was there any other questions? Okay, cool.
Let's give a round of applause. Thank you so much, Beccy.